WWE won't ever bring Cardona back because it'll prove how right wrestlers are by betting on themselves. And let me know your wrestling hot takes down in the comments below. It can be current day or it can be in history, and you'll have a chance of being in the next episode. You say this about Matt Cardona as if Cody Rhodes didn't do the exact same thing. Hell, that's the entire Cody Rhodes story on his way back to WWE. It was that he went ahead and bet on himself and left. And so if anything, you look at Cody Rhodes as a case study for this kind of thing. I think they would bring him back and celebrate the fact he went away and made a name for himself again.
I don't want to prove people wrong. I want to prove myself right and my fans right. It makes me sick saying it because I feel like I've said it so many times, but it's the truth and I feel like I have. What else do I need to do to get back there? You know what I'm saying? Thousands of people at WrestleCon, probably every other fan, if not every fan. When are you coming back? Well, it's up to me.
And even despite Matt Cardona himself saying that WWE have never reached out for him to return, I think he will return eventually. Not only because I think seeing him and Chelsea on TV together in some kind of fashion would be money, but also because he has done so much to improve his character, his physique, his overall character, his wrestling, and so I can't see a world where he doesn't eventually come back to WWE. And so I guess time will tell.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
WWE music really has downgraded. I just want to go ahead and say Rey Fenix's theme is absolutely fire. And for as easy as it is to slander Def Rebel, and God knows I have, I also have to go ahead and acknowledge that they do have some bangers in their arsenal. They do have some bangers in that discography. But also at the same time, I think Metro Boomin recently said he's down to make music for WWE. Jim Johnston even said that he's willing to come back. The Hurt Syndicate chant, "We hurt people," with Trick Williams chant tempo, example, "We hurt people. We hurt people," instead of "We hurt people. We hurt people." I ain't gonna lie, I kind of mess with it. Yeah, that's kind of fire. You cook it. But I will also say I quite like the "We hurt people." It has kind of an aura about it as they slowly walk out and dominate. And then I feel like the "whoop that trick," like "whoop that trick," like that has a good tempo as well. Now that you've put these two things together, I really want to see Trick Williams in the Hurt Syndicate. Oh my goodness. Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu is going to be their next Brock Roman. It's going to main event multiple WrestleManias. I predict it'll main event WrestleMania 50. I low-key kind of agree with you. I mean, this match is definitely going to take place at WrestleMania. It's definitely going to main event one day. And also on the Braun Breaker front, I don't think we're that far away from Paul Heyman at the end of a Raw or something after Braun Breaker standing over the world champion or something. Paul Heyman grabs a microphone as he crowns him. He says, "No more Braun Breaker. He is now Bronson Steiner," and that's just it. But both of these men come from such impressive lineages, both the Steiners and the Fatus and the Samoan dynasty in general. This is going to be a main event, and my goodness, is it going to be a war. Push Carrion now. Yeah, there's no, I don't need to say anything else. Yes, we need to make an online petition to bring back Total Divas with DDJ involved somehow. Yes, we do. I feel like I bring up Total Divas in every single video I make, and if you're not a fan of those videos or a fan of the show, then I'm sorry. And listen, it's an absolute million miles away shot, but I would love to be involved in that Total Divas reboot somehow. I feel like I'm the voice of this movement at this point. They would do those season wrap shows where it would be all the Total Divas talking to like a host. I would love to be that person. Gosh, can you imagine me talking to Natalya, interviewing Brie Bella, Nikki, what's good, Eva Marie, Summer Rae, you suck. Ah, that's the dream. I miss Orange Cassidy. AEW needs to make him world champ before WrestleMania 42. Before WrestleMania 42 is incredibly ambitious considering I can kind of see where the next few AEW world champions are coming from. Hangman Adam Page beats Jon Moxley at All in Texas, vanquishes the Death Riders, then goes on to Forbidden Door London where Will Ospreay becomes champion, holds it for a while, and then during that period, I imagine Will Ospreay is going to hold it and beat quite a few people. Maybe you run back Kenny Omega in the world title scene depending on who wins out of him and Okada. Maybe you run Will Ospreay and Okada. Maybe there's some upcomers that you want to run as well. But we also have to remember MJF. Quietly in the background through the Hurt Syndicate, he's building his way back to the World Championship. So I imagine at some point, maybe at Full Gear later this year, it'll be Will Ospreay versus MJF again. And so it really is a question of where would Orange Cassidy fit in all of that. But don't get me wrong, I'd love to see freshly squeezed world champion. Chad Gable should be world heavyweight champion, not Jay or Gunther. I completely agree. We are in June 2025 and Chad Gable still hasn't won a singles title. That is a madness to me. What if WWE leans into their new corporate TKO model even more, preparing for the future anti-authority figure to cut the next pipe bomb and stir a ton of mainstream buzz? I think you all know what I'm about to say. I think I know what all of you are gonna say. Push Karrion Kross as this guy. 2 hot takes if that's okay. You know what? No, it isn't. Oh my god. I'm just messing with you. In my opinion, Will Ospreay is the best in-ring wrestler in the world right now. Okay. And 2, I know it's competition and business, but I find it a little petty that WWE scheduled 2 to 3 shows over All In Weekend, even though AEW has had this big weekend planned for months. First of all, I think Will Ospreay is definitely one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world right now. There's no doubt about it. And in terms of WWE being petty, yeah, I think the entire play there from Nick Khan and Triple H is just, it's extremely embarrassing if I'm honest. Because how threatened are you by how good All In Texas is going to be that you have to try and crush them like this? And listen, you guys know I love AEW, I love WWE, I love NXT, I love TNA. I'm not picking a side here or anything. I'm just calling a spade a spade. And this spade says Nick and Triple are petty as shit. He's cooking here. As I've said in the past before, while it is incredibly petty, while it is incredibly ridiculous, I'm still gonna watch them all at the same time anyway. It doesn't really make a difference to me. And I imagine it doesn't make a lot of difference to a lot of wrestling fans out there as well. Balor, Shinsuke, and Styles should form a faction and destroy everyone in their way, kind of like the Shield. I think it's time to pull the plug on Shinsuke, bro. I think it's over. Wallahi, he's finished. And listen, I love Shinsuke just as much as the next guy. I still think he can wrestle. I still think there's a character there, but in terms of WWE, too much damage has been done, but I just don't think there's enough booking that they can do to get them back to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is a faction that I want to see. First off, love the vids, thank you, but I'm sorry for this. LA Knight couldn't win Money in the Bank. Before the amazing SmackDown promo, you could not convince me that he would cash in or beat Cena. The only person he could have cashed in on was Jay, but he's on SmackDown and I didn't want to see Jay just lose so quickly after only 2 months before Big Gunth had to kill him. Great match though. Seth is a threat to both titles and his faction needs some hardware and needs to be taken seriously more than LA Knight winning and WWE not knowing what to do with him after the big win. That type of thing has happened a lot. And
if I gotta drop a genius balding bitch John Cena, I will be the WWE champion with everybody saying.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and hard disagree with you. I think LA Knight could have won Money in the Bank. He should have won Money in the Bank, and he would have won Money in the Bank if Seth wasn't in the match. It just feels like we're getting to a point now with LA Knight where if you don't pull the trigger on him this year, then maybe the allegations of him being the new Dolph Ziggler are actually going to come true. Seth was the right choice. No. Vince should open another business to compete with WWE and AEW. Please, no. I don't want to be there for that. Dear Lord, please never ever make VPW a reality. Amen. All In Texas is shaping up to be so much better than WWE's 2 PLEs and Saturday Night's main event that weekend. Listen, you ain't gonna get any disagreements out of me. And I've got to go ahead and say, for as long as Hollywood Blockbuster was, I really enjoyed that show. I mean, I'm still standing on business when it comes to the 4-hour shows consecutively being a bit too much. But was that a fantastic wrestling show? Did I really enjoy it? Do I love Willow Nightingale? Yes, yes, and yes. AEW is in desperate need of a brand split and a draft. You know what? I'd like to see it. I would love to see it just because the first time WWE did it back in 2002, it was really special, and I think AEW could do something similar. And a guy that I don't talk about all that often, but Speedball Mike Bailey would absolutely be a part of the equivalent SmackDown 6. He is terrific.